Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we are zooming in on a very specific, a very painful moment that I think every single person listening right now has experienced.
Oh, yeah.
It's usually late, maybe 11:30 at night. You're at your computer, the screen's glowing, and you've got a travel website open. Your fingers just, hovering over that book now button.
But you can't click it.
You just can't because the number you're looking at is, well, it's basically a mortgage payment.
It's that universal moment of hesitation, isn't it? It's the stare down between your desire for a good time and your instinct for financial survival.
Exactly. It's an internal civil war. One part of your brain is just screaming, treat yourself, you deserve the magical experience.
And the other half, the responsible half, is whispering, if you click that, we're eating instant noodles for the next 3 months.
So today we are unpacking that exact tension. We're looking at the economics, the psychology, and frankly, the sheer physical reality of the theme park staycation.
And to do this, we're not just, using our own stories. We're analyzing a really fascinating, honestly, fiery debate from a show called Theme Park Takes.
That's great.
It's a total head-to-head clash between two hosts, Alex and Jamie, and it's all about the famous Alton Towers resort in the UK. But honestly, it doesn't matter if you've never been.
No, not at all.
The points they raise apply to Disney, Universal, Six Flags, anywhere that has a roller coaster and a hotel right next to it.
Yeah, the location is specific, but the pain is universal.
Yeah.
So our mission today is to figure out, is that on-site hotel a legitimate luxury that saves your sanity? Or is it, as the source so beautifully puts it, a financial jump scare?
Financial jump scare is such a visceral term.
It is.
It implies that the horror isn't the drop tower, it's the bill you get at checkout.
It really sets the tone. So before we get into the math and the chicken nuggets of confidence, which we will definitely get to, let's set the stage with these two characters.
Yeah, because they really represent the two extremes.
Totally. First up, you have Alex.
Alex is the ultimate pragmatist. I think we all have an Alex in our friend group. Or maybe deep down, we are the Alex.
I might be the Alex.
This is the person who looks at a theme park not as this, wonderland of whimsy, but as a logistical battlefield to be conquered with maximum efficiency and minimum spend.
The source material says he probably packs sandwiches for Disneyland. Which, look, is a sick burn, but it paints the picture perfectly.
It really does.
He thinks the whole on-site hotel thing is fundamentally a scam.
Right. And then in the other corner, you have Jamie. Jamie is the vibe seeker.
The vibe seeker.
Jamie argues that staying on site is elite behavior. For him, the hotel isn't about a bed. It's about maintaining the immersion. He's willing to pay a premium to keep the real world out for just a little bit longer.
So we have the pragmatist versus the immersionist. Let's start where the fight always starts, which is the money, because Alex does not pull his punches here.
No, he goes right for it.
He opens by comparing the cost of a themed room to buying a small car.
Which, okay, let's be fair. That's a bit of hyperbole. You're not getting a reliable car for the price of one night at Alton Towers.
I don't know. I've seen some of those rates.
But the fact that he even makes that comparison, it just speaks to the sheer sticker shock of it all.
But his core argument is so interesting. He says, the real ride is your bank balance dropping. He's framing the spending itself as this, negative physical sensation.
Well, that touches on a core concept in behavioral economics, the pain of paying.
Right.
For Alex, the pain of that transaction is so high, so visceral, that it just completely overrides any potential pleasure from the product. He's looking at that hotel room through a pure utility lens.
A utility lens. Break that down a little.
Sure. So he says, I don't need an experience. I need a bed. If you boil it down, a hotel room's primary job is to provide, a comatose state sleep for about 8 hours.
That's all it is.
So Alex argues, why am I paying for pirate-themed wallpaper or a view of a roller coaster if my eyes are going to be closed for 90% of the time I'm in there?
That is a remarkably strong point. If I'm unconscious, the luxury is just wasted on me. I could be in a palace or a cupboard. If I'm asleep, what's the difference?
Exactly. It's an efficiency argument. If the utility is just to recharge, then a generic budget motel 5 miles away provides 95% of that same utility for, maybe 20% of the price?
Yeah.
That huge gap in price, that massive markup, in his eyes, it's just marketing fluff. He sees it as just burning money.
But Jamie has a counter for this, right? He refuses to accept that the room is just a box.
Oh, completely.
Right.
He argues you aren't paying for the bed. You're paying for the bridge between the rational and the emotional.
What does that mean?
Jamie's argument is that the experience doesn't just stop when you go to sleep. It's about continuity. It's a bit like the magic circle theory in game design.
Okay.
The magic circle is the space where the rules of the real world don't apply. Where you're a wizard or an adventurer or just someone who doesn't have a mortgage. Jamie is paying to stay inside that circle. If you drive to a budget motel, you break it. You see a gas station, you check your work email, the spell is broken.
So the high price is basically a reality tax. You're paying a tax to avoid reality for another 12 hours.
Precisely. You are paying for the feeling of waking up and still being in the movie.
Okay, but Alex has a rebuttal for this that I found really, really compelling. It's something I think most of us don't even consider. He talks about time use efficiency.
This is the part that hurt me on a personal level.
Me too.
He says, you are barely awake in the room. And just think about the typical theme park schedule. You check in at, 9, 10 p.m. because you've been at the park until the gates close.
Right, you're maximizing your time.
You crash immediately because you're exhausted. You wake up at 7 a.m. to get back in line for early entry. So you have technically paid hundreds of pounds to store your luggage and take a shower.
It's an expensive locker. It's the world's most expensive luggage storage.
It's effectively a luxury storage unit for your body. Alex points out that unlike, say, a beach resort where the room is the destination.
Where you hang out on the balcony, you read a book.
Exactly. At a theme park, if you are hanging out in your room, you are doing it wrong.
You feel guilty. You feel like you're missing the rides.
Exactly. So the very asset you are paying this huge premium for is the one asset you are incentivized not to use. It's a total paradox.
Wow, that is a fascinating way to put it. The more you enjoy the park, the less value you get from the hotel.
Correct. And that is why Alex sees it as a financial jump scare. The math, for him, just doesn't add up.
Okay, so economically, Alex is making a very, very strong case. I'm leaning team sandwich here.
I get it.
But let's shift to logistics, because this is where Jamie starts to win me back over. I am a sucker for convenience, and Jamie brings up the commute factor.
This is the strongest argument for the hotel, bar none. Jamie points out that staying on site just removes all the friction. No driving, no parking shuttles, no fighting for a space in, section Z9.
The parking.
He mentions avoiding the 12-mile walk before you even get on the first ride.
He says 12-mile walk, and anyone who has parked in the overflow lot at Alton Towers or Disney knows he is not exaggerating. That walk from the car to the tram to the gate, it's a journey.
It's a pilgrimage. And it's a psychological hurdle.
Mm-hmm.
Jamie frames the hotel as the solution to all that friction. You just wake up inside the park.
Right.
In a way, you aren't buying a room. You're buying energy conservation. You're buying the fact that you start your day at 100% battery, not at 80%, because you've already sat in traffic.
That feels like a legitimate luxury, the luxury of not being annoyed before the day even starts.
It is. But, and this is where the debate gets really spicy. Alex flips this. This was the moment in the source that made me laugh out loud.
Me too.
He doesn't see waking up in the park as a luxury. He calls it a psychological experiment.
Yes. Jamie talks about the beautiful ambience of seeing the coasters testing in the morning mist.
And Alex just calls it tinnitus.
Tinnitus. It's so harsh, but it raises a really serious question about sensory processing. Theme parks are assaultive environments. They are loud, bright, crowded, adrenaline-fueled.
All of it. Alex's point is that staying on site means there is no off switch.
It's relentless. You're hearing the screams, the loop music.
It is. If you're someone who is prone to overstimulation, staying on site might not be a luxury. It might actually be a trap. You were literally sleeping inside the machine.
A trap. That's a good way to put it.
Alex suggests that leaving the park, driving to a quiet, boring hotel, and just seeing a normal beige wall acts as a palate cleanser.
So Alex wants decompression. Jamie wants immersion.
And that is the fundamental personality split, isn't it? Do you want to drown in the magic, or do you need to come up for air just to maintain your sanity?
I think I need the air, honestly. The idea of waking up and immediately hearing a roller coaster lift hill, that might just be too much for me.
It's a lot.
But let's talk about the perks, because these hotels always dangle a carrot to justify the price. In this case, it's early ride access.
The golden hour. It's a classic velvet rope tactic.
Yeah.
You're buying time. You're buying the only time of day when the park is actually bearable.
Right, before the crowds get there. Jamie mentions getting on Nemesis Reborn while the plebs are still stuck outside.
But Alex hates this. He looks at this perk and he doesn't see a gift. He sees a chore.
A chore.
He says, I didn't pay 300 pounds to wake up earlier than I do for school.
This is the early bird dilemma, and it exposes a really deep flaw in the whole vacation logic of a theme park.
Yeah. We think of a holiday as rest, sleeping in, lingering over coffee. But a theme park vacation is actually endurance labor. It's a military operation.
It really is. Everyone up, shoes on, move, move, move.
To maximize the value of your really expensive hotel perk,
Yeah.
you have to aggressively deprive yourself of sleep. If you sleep in until 9:30, you've just incinerated the value of that early access.
You've wasted the money, so now you're setting an alarm for 6:30 a.m. on your holiday.
And you're stressed about it. If you oversleep, you feel guilty, like you failed the investment.
Alex calls that a mistake. Jamie calls it commitment.
Yeah, for Jamie, the fatigue is part of the conquest. He's a super fan. Getting that ride with no wait is a trophy for him.
But for Alex, the trophy is sleeping until noon and keeping his money.
It's so funny how the hotel markets itself as relaxing. But to actually use its features, you have to be militant. It's relaxation through regimen.
It's the anxiety of optimization. You can't just be, you have to do.
Speaking of doing, we have to talk about eating. Because once you're trapped in that hotel, in that magic circle, you are completely at the mercy of their pricing.
The captive audience doctrine, the oldest trick in the book.
Exactly.
Alex gets really heated here. He says, buying a burger makes your card decline. And he drops maybe the best line of the entire debate.
Oh, I know it's coming.
Jamie tries to defend the prices by saying it's themed dining, there's music, there's decor, and Alex just shoots back, it's a 14-pound chicken nugget with confidence.
With confidence. That is such a brilliant critique of branding.
It's so accurate, it haunts me.
It dissects the value proposition perfectly. A chicken nugget is a commodity. We all know what a nugget costs, what it tastes like.
Yep.
But if you serve it in a room with a plastic pirate ship on the wall and call it Buccaneer's Treasure Bites, you can charge a 400% markup. The confidence is the sheer audacity of the theme park to insist that the atmosphere somehow changes the molecular structure of the food.
But does it, though? I mean, does the vibe actually make the food taste better? Or are we just, deluding ourselves to feel better about the receipt?
There's some science to gastrophysics, the idea that environment affects taste, but I don't think it stretches to frozen chicken nuggets.
Oh, why not?
Jamie is arguing for what I'd call the vibe subsidy. He's willing to overpay for the food because he sees that extra cost as a donation to the atmosphere. He's paying to keep the illusion alive.
Funding the pirate ship on the wall.
Exactly. But Alex just sees a ripoff. He sees price gouging. He's like, I don't need vibes. I need calories and financial stability. When hunger hits, the theming becomes invisible to the pragmatist.
So far, looking at the scorecard, Alex is winning on economics, and he's making a very strong case on the food. But, and there is a big but here, we have to get to the end of the day.
Ah, yes. The final boss battle of the theme park trip. The journey home.
This is the trump card. This is where the defense rests its case.
And it seems to be the one place where Alex's armor really cracks.
It does. Janie paints this picture of the alternative. You've walked 20,000 steps, you're dehydrated, your feet are throbbing, the kids are screaming, and now you have to walk back to the car and drive 3 hours on a motorway in the dark.
Even Alex has to admit, driving home exhausted is awful. This is the universal equalizer. Theme parks are physically punishing. We forget this because we call it fun, but physiologically, it's closer to running a half marathon while shouting.
It is. You're sun-drained, your adrenaline has completely crashed, you are a husk of a human being.
And that's dangerous. Microsleeps are a real thing. The cognitive load of driving after a day like that is massive.
So true.
And Jamie uses this incredibly vivid imagery to describe the hotel stay in that specific moment. He says, when I stay over, I just roll into bed like a victorious warrior.
Victorious warrior. I love that. It makes you feel like you conquered the park.
It reframes the exhaustion. If you stay, the exhaustion is a good tired. You earned it. You crash into crisp sheets. But if you drive, the exhaustion is a threat. It's an obstacle you have to fight for 3 hours.
It's the difference between ending the movie on a high note or ending it with a slow, painful credits sequence.
Perfectly put.
But Alex, he just can't let Jamie have the win completely, can he? He counters that victorious warrior image just perfectly.
What does he say?
He says you roll into bed, but you roll into debt.
And there it is, the final equation. It's the trade-off of pain. Which pain is worse for you? The physical pain of the drive or the psychological pain of the bill?
That's deep. It really is just a choice of suffering.
It is. Jamie prioritizes the body. He says, my physical comfort is worth any price in that moment. He's living in the now.
Whereas Alex prioritizes the future self.
Exactly. He's saying the financial hangover from this room will last way longer than the tiredness from the drive.
It's short-term relief versus long-term gain. Do I save my back tonight or save my bank account for next month?
And the theme parks know this better than anyone. They know that at 5:00 p.m., when your feet are throbbing, your price sensitivity just drops to zero. You would pay almost anything to not walk another step.
So they're effectively monetizing your exhaustion.
That's a cynical but probably accurate way to look at it. They break you down physically just so they can sell you the cure. They create the poison, the huge, sprawling park, and they sell the antidote, the on-site hotel.
It's a perfect ecosystem.
So looking at the source, they really categorize these two modes of travel into distinct camps, don't they? It's not just a preference, it's a whole lifestyle choice.
It really is. Jamie calls the drive home option hard mode or struggle mode.
Struggle mode.
Yeah.
That feels a bit harsh for just driving your car. But I get it. It feels like you're the peasant leaving the castle.
It frames being frugal as suffering. If you aren't paying, you must be struggling.
But Alex flips it. He calls staying on site robbery with roller coasters.
Which implies he feels like a victim. He's being mugged by a mascot.
And he just defines his own method as budget mode or sensible mode. He refuses to accept that spending money is the only path to happiness. He wears his frugality like a badge of honor.
But they do find one thing they agree on. And I think this is the key takeaway for anyone listening who is, debating that book now button.
Yes. Jamie says, either way, you'll still scream.
And Alex finishes the thought, on the rides or when you check your bank app.
It's the perfect summary. There is no free lunch in the theme park world. You pay with currency or you pay with your body. You pay with cash or you pay with fatigue. You just have to choose which one you have a surplus of.
If you're young and broke, you pay with fatigue. You power through the drive home.
Yeah.
If you're a bit older, maybe you pay with cash to save your back because your back is a non-renewable resource.
Precisely. It's just an exchange rate between your wallet and your body.
So, bringing this deep dive to a close, we've looked at the small car cost, the chicken nugget with confidence, and the victorious warrior sleep. What's the final thought for the listener? What should they be asking themselves?
I think the provocative question here is about the nature of service in the modern entertainment industry. We tend to thank the hotel for being there. We say, oh, thank God there's a hotel right at the gate.
Right.
But based on this whole debate, you have to ask yourself, is the convenience of a theme park hotel actually a service designed for the guest? Or is it just a sophisticated infrastructure designed to extract the maximum amount of money from a captive, exhausted human being?
Are they solving a problem or are they exploiting a vulnerability that they created in the first place?
Exactly. Are you a guest or are you just a battery they're recharging so you can spend more money tomorrow?
That is a thought that will definitely keep me up at night, probably while staring at the ceiling of a room that costs 300 pounds, wondering if the wallpaper is worth it.
Just try to enjoy the plastic pirate ship on the wall.
I'll try. Thanks for diving deep with us today. Whether you're a sandwich packer like Alex or a vibe seeker like Jamie, we hope your next trip is worth the scream. See you next time.